Morning, my name is Bob Flavin. I served aboard the USS Forrestal from January of 1966 until August of 69, and went to the Mediterranean 3 times, and I went one trip to Vietnam, and fifth day we were in Vietnam, the ship caught on fire and we had an awful explosion. We lost 134 men that morning. I got 5 draft notices, yes, but I end up with deferment due to the fact that I was in college.
At some point, though, that had to change.
Well, at that one point, it ended up yes, and I got the letter, and I was told to go to the recruiter on and join the. I was drafted into the Army, and Friday afternoon, instead of going to the Army, I went to the Navy. I didn't want to sleep with snakes and bugs. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was getting into. Truthfully, it just adventure. I guess that if you came right down to it, was an adventure. I went to first time I went over to Madrid, Spain, and then down to Rota, Spain, to wait to catch the ship I was going to. And first time I saw it, my first exact thought was, how does something that big float? The USS Forrestal, CVA 59.
Where were you headed to?
Vietnam. My job was to take care of anything that supported aircraft. Jacks to jack them up, tow tractors, tractors that started them, hydraulic jennies so they could jack them up and not have to run the aircraft, but the jenny would run the hydraulic system on the aircraft. We got that year, yes, we got orders to move one berthing space forward
You didn't like it. Why didn't you like that?
because I lost my personal spot that I'd had for 13 months.
Day 5 comes around, and what's the first sign that something's not right?
First sign, there was one hell of an explosion. Those aircraft that were loaded to go on that flight that morning all had, not all of them, but those A4s like the John McCain and them flew, all had pre-World War II Mark 60, I think they called them, bombs. Thin shell bombs.
And when they heat up,
They crack open and explode.
that's what happened.
That's what happened.
How many?
11. The majority of the original flight deck fighting crew was wiped out, yes. We were fighting fires all the way from the flight deck down into 10 decks down below the hangar deck. The majority of the back end of the ship was on fire.
So when you're on the radio, is it mass confusion, or is it just...
No, it isn't. It's a controlled. You could hear everybody. I mean, you hear all the other repair lockers talking when they were asked something, but no. The final explanation was again a Zuni rocket received a stray voltage. They're not exactly 100% certain why or how, but it did. The Zuni rocket went across the flight deck, hit an A4 that was loaded with a 1,000-pound bomb and 400 or 500 gallons of jet fuel, and it just was. And all those airplanes are stacked wing over wing. They put them on the back of the ship. They get them started. They take them up front to the catapults and start launching them. So it was just a domino effect. Prior to that day, no one would ever have made me believe that they could blow a hole in the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. It just
2.5 inches of
armor plate steel. If they had moved us one birthing space forward before we went to Vietnam, I don't think I'd be here today.
What do you think of when you go back and you look at some of those names on that list?
It hurts. I can't tell you with that camera running. Yep.
Is it business as usual when you get back on?
Yep.
Same job, same everything?
Same bad time, same bad channel. That September, we went back to the Mediterranean for 10 months. And we got back from there, and my time was, my enlistment was up.
What's the one thing you take away from it all?
Friends.